Hi, my name is Valerie and this is my 19th video on my no-poo experience. My first no shampoo shower was June 1st of 2019, where I used baking soda and apple cider vinegar and it was a bit too drying for my scalp and hair. Since then, I've used a whole bunch of different things. My last recorded video was on January 8th of 2020, where I used coffee grounds with mustard powder and cinnamon powder, which it actually did a pretty good job. It took a lot of the oil out of my hair. Since then, I've been going back and forth. It's been about 4, maybe 5 showers, but I've been going back and forth between egg and brewed coffee with mustard powder and cinnamon powder. And the brewed coffee actually does a pretty good job. It gets the majority of the oil out, but since it is not the complete amount of oil out of my hair like an egg would take out, it does tend to get oilier a little bit faster. So brewed coffee would be a good thing to just kind of freshen you up for a day or two before getting yourself into the shower to clean it out with something else. And then today is January 31st of 2020, and we're going to be using a new ingredient today. We're going to use something I didn't think that I would be able to get my hands on from the grocery store, but I found some. It's chickpea flour, which is something I talked about earlier in the videos when I was trying to experiment with non-gluten containing flour, like quinoa flour. But I found some chickpea flour and I'm going to use that with a lime juice rinse today. So we'll see how that goes. So the recipe is basically a 1-to-1 ratio. I decided that because my hair is a little bit longer, I was going to measure out 3 tablespoons of chickpea flour. And I also have 3 tablespoons of water measured out here already. All I have to do is mix my chickpea flour and water together, and then I can put it in my hair. One of the problems of using a whisk in a square container is you have corners that get stuff stuck in them. That's where a spoon comes in. You want to try and get all your lumps out so that it's easy to put into your hair. Because of all of the saponins in it, we've got some bubbles. That's pretty neat. And hopefully this will clean out the oil in my hair. For my lime juice rinse, I have measured out 1 teaspoon of lime juice. And then I'll just fill the spray bottle up all the way with water, which is somewhere close to 1 cup. So my last shower was using brewed coffee with mustard powder and cinnamon powder. And as you can see, my hair is really dark and it's pretty clumpy and stringy. And I would say it kind of starts to peter out down about here. It gets very light compared to being very dark on top. And I would like for it to be much cleaner, so I'm excited to try this chickpea flour and see how much oil will come out of my hair. And hopefully it'll feel really nice to scrub those little particles out around my scalp. Using chickpea flour wasn't much different from when I was using quinoa flour way back when. It was a very smooth consistency and it was a lot less gritty than using quinoa flour, which was nice. So I got my hair pretty damp, and when I started, dipping my fingers in the flour to massage it in, I realized that the chickpea flour had this kind of it was a weird fruity smell to it. I'm assuming that's because of the saponins that are being released, but it didn't smell all that great, which then makes me understand why. There are some recipes I was reading through where they say, oh, you can add 3 or 4 drops of essential oils in there. It's not necessarily for your hair to smell nice, but it's to kind of mask the smell of this stuff that you're putting in your hair. So, because my hair was damp, it helped to keep the particles from drying out and falling into the tub. And, I had enough, so 3 tablespoons of flour and water was enough to completely coat my hair. And I just let it sit there for, 3 or 4 minutes while I did some other stuff. And then I made sure to rinse it out in a bowl since it is flour. I didn't want to pour all that flour down the drain. Ended up clogging the pipes with it. So I rinsed it out in the bowl, and then I put my lime juice rinse in my hair and let that sit while I did the rest of my shower duties. I washed it out and my hair felt clean. My hair feels really nice. It feels almost like when I clean my hair with egg. I would say it felt exactly like when I clean my hair with egg. So I am really excited to see how this turns out when my hair is finally dry. So chickpea flour did a really good job. My hair looks clean, it feels clean, it's acting like it isn't clumpy or anything, and I really enjoy it. So after everything dried, my hair doesn't have that weird smell in it like it did when the chickpea flour was wet, and also it rinsed out of my hair pretty well. When I used quinoa flour before, there would have been a lot of particles left over that I had to brush out, but the chickpea flour, it came out pretty much all at once, and I mean there might be 1 or 2 particles here and there when I run my fingers through my hair, but it all came out. So that is a winner in my book, and I hope that if you try it, it works just as well for you and that you have a nice rest of your day.